Hello, everyone. Welcome to Subconsciously Speaking. What's in your mind? I'm your host, Ilah Brock, certified hypnotherapist here in Visalia, California with Central Valley Hypnotherapy. You can go to my website, centralvalleyhypnotherapy.com. I'm just your professional subconscious translator. That's what I do. I help people learn to speak the language of their deeper mind. Especially when that mind feels like it's stuck in a survival mode. Today, we're diving into something many people experience on a daily basis, and that's one of the biggest things that I deal with. It's anxiety. And I want you to just take in a deep breath through the nose, cool the brain, exhale. There, you made it. Now you've made time. Let's talk. So, let's talk about anxiety, why your brain freaks out, and how to calm it down. This is episode number 5. Did you know you've got anxiety when your body's exhausted, but your brain's like, let's replay every awkward conversation I've ever had in my life, starting now. And it's right when you're going to sleep, you know? Yeah. So what is anxiety really? And that's a question I ask people to define it in their own words. What is anxiety? Really, anxiety is negative emotions around a future event. And the future event could be a good event. I mean, I got married less than 90 days ago, and there was a little anxiety, all of the things and the moving parts, getting pieces together, whatever. And that was like, it was anxiety, but it was a good anxiety. It was a positive experience. We had a lot of fun. But then there's also other anxieties, if someone, a loved one is diagnosed with some severe illness, that can create some anxiety because you have to navigate a new normal in your life as you're going through that. But understand, anxiety isn't a flaw. Now, I had somebody call me. They didn't become a client. I just was able to help them over the phone. And she said that she loves her job. She works in a dentist office or something, I don't know, in another state somewhere. It was just a random call. And she said that she loves her job, but an issue happened between her and another coworker. And she loves the environment she works in, everything. She just, every time she get to work, this anxiety would just hit her. So she and I talked about it a little bit, and it was one particular person. They said something to her that bugged her, and she just couldn't get past it. So I asked her, well, how do you feel? What's your end of your work day is at 5 o'clock. How do you feel at 5 o'clock? And she goes, relieved. And she doesn't have to think about going back until 8 o'clock the next morning. And I said, well, imagine feeling relieved at 8 o'clock in the morning. And it's just kind of a pause. Feeling relieved at 8 in the morning? Yeah, because emotions are energy and motion. Go to episode 2. Energy and motion. When you have energy and motion, you can move the emotion. And that's how they get stuck. In literally an entity, an energy that gets stuck in our body. It just, So when she started to imagining herself leaving at 5 o'clock, and this anxiety just disappeared because she lived in relief and that kind of mindset for the entire day while she was at work, and she didn't have to worry about that problem anymore. Now, personally, you need to address problems as they come up. She didn't know how, and she didn't come in to see me as her client, but it was a little bit of help. But that's a way that you can help yourself immediately when you have anxiety about something. So it's not a flaw. I don't know if I said that. You're not in trouble. It's not a weakness. Some people have it all the time. I do. I mean, my producers have it, especially when they're on deadline and, they have to be someplace at a certain time. It's just, we all know it a little too well. But remember, it's kind of a survival mechanism that we have. Basically, it's our alarm system. It's designed to tell us something feels off. It's about future. We aren't anxious about what happened yesterday or 10 years ago because it's in the past. What are we anxious about? Something that hasn't happened yet. Worry sets in, bullying sets in, you self-bully, self-sabotage, all of those things. These things, because we don't know what's going to happen. We do the what-if game over and over and over and over and over again. So it's just, you're on alert, something doesn't feel right. So the problem is most of us are dodging that saber-toothed tiger, trying to not navigate around it. And we're just trying to reply to our emails, trying to figure out, sometimes what's for dinner, who's got to pick up the kids, where your schedule can be anxious because it's so full. I mean, I love having a full schedule. Love it, and I'm having to navigate some new normals in my life and recreate, different areas of my life that it's scheduled. It's going to create a little anxiety for about another 2 weeks until I kind of get myself settled in. Love doing this podcast, and it's every week, and I'm very calm in front of cameras, in front of people. It's, am I prepared? That will create some anxiety if I'm not quite prepared for what it is I'm going to do. And you'll know that because I'll do a lot of umming if I'm not knowing what I'm doing. So your nervous system doesn't know what's going on. It just reacts as if there's danger, and there may or may not be. It's just reacting. It's the same. The body reacts the same. So even a text message from a weird tone, it can set you off into a fight or flight reaction. I remember when I was dating a few years ago, before I met my husband, I'd asked a guy if he would like to get together on Saturday. We had seen each other a few times, so I felt it was appropriate that I asked him. And he just wrote back, "No, thank you. I'm busy, no thank you." That's what it was. I freaked out. Well, anxious, yeah. Did I do something wrong? Why is he telling me no? I mean, we weren't exclusive or anything. So it had to come to terms. And that anxiety was definitely inappropriate at the moment for me to have, because he had the right to say no. Only that, but somebody asked me, one of my trainers, how did he say it? I don't know, I didn't hear it. Did he say, "No, thank you, I'm busy"? Or did he just say, "No, thank you, I'm busy"? And I had to learn, dudes, guys, it's no thank you. You ask a buddy, "Hey, let's go out for a beer or a cup of coffee," and they say, "No, thanks." You don't think another thing of it. Women just extrapolate so much stuff into a no thank you. And it's not even there. So women, we got to learn to think a little bit more like men so we don't bring crazy into our life. So it becomes a stressful, exhausting time. And it can be kind of annoying to yourself and to other people. So let's talk about what anxious feels like. It can be a racing thought. It's like you're mentally speed scrolling and you can't stop. It can be showing up physically, your tension in your shoulders, clenching your jaw, your stomach's upset, your insomnia, overthinking, doom scrolling in your social media, or that lovely 3 a.m. mind party where your to-do list starts quoting Shakespeare. Sometimes anxiety shows up as irritability, and no, you're not just grumpy, you're overloaded, you're on edge, you're like you're on your nerves are on their last element, you're on your own last nerve, and you're wearing those nerves right here at the fingertips, The worst part, you may not even know you may not know there's nothing to panic about, nothing to be anxious over. The body hasn't gotten the memo yet that everything's okay. It can be very subtle, and it could be absolutely nothing. A few years ago, my husband and I were heading home. He was coming home from some meeting. I was coming home from the office, and I was doing some chores. And I remember, we both have a key to the house, and I remember there was a knock. It's like 9:30 at night, and there's a knock at the door. We don't get people knocking at our door at 9:30 at night. And it scared me. Immediately my heart rate increased, my breathing got deep, and I'm just like, what is it? And it only lasted for about a minute until who is it? And I'm, grabbing the doorknob and hand going for an object behind the door that some people might have behind their door. And it was my husband, his hands were full. But that's how fast it can hit, from the 5 feet from where I was standing, knock at the door to the door, I was in full blown fight or flight, anxious big time. It can happen that fast I had no control. My body's getting me ready for potentially there's danger. That's what I thought of it as. So you cannot logic your way out of anxiety if the subconscious mind still believes there's danger. You can say, I'm fine, but there was an old classic movie that defined fine. Freakishly insecure, neurotic, and emotional. Yeah, you're fine. You can say it 1,000 times, but if your inner programming says, no, not safe, you're going to keep feeling on edge. The subconscious mind runs about 88% of your day, including your emotional responses. So when we use hypnosis or hypnotherapy, we go straight to the control center, right there in the center. You don't just talk about anxiety. I can help you retrain, or a hypnotherapist can help you retrain that emotional pattern. Just imagine telling your inner alarm, hey, false alarm, we're safe, you can stand down now. And that's all it takes, and that's what hypnotherapy does. I'm going to give you a personal example. Now, I always have water on my desk. If you were to see, I have 3 cups here, and they all have water or had water in them. But water, it's water. It's like I've trained my own subconscious mind. It's my Xanax. And so when anxiety hits, I'm like, okay, what's that about? I'm watching a movie, I'm folding laundry, I'm, doing my work, whatever, things that I enjoy. And I'm starting to feel anxious, like, no, we're not going there. What is it? I can just take a sip, which I needed anyway. And my anxiety just starts to subside. Maybe it takes 2 sips, but it's telling my inner operating system new instructions. Water, trigger, calm. Well, done. So it's about those triggers. So let's talk about your triggers that create the anxiety, and then we can create new triggers to calm it. Mine is water. So triggers are like tiny little landmines your brain has. They've stored them from past experiences. So maybe you had a critical parent growing up, and now you feel a wave of panic every time you get a constructive feedback from somebody. That voice is in the back of your head. Or maybe you got burned out in college, and every deadline becomes just becomes a chest tightening moment for you. Because deadlines in college. There's always deadlines when you're in college. Most anxiety patterns come from learned experiences, not conscious choices. And the good news, there's always good news with Ilah. Anything that's learned can be unlearned. Remember episode 2? So through hypnosis, we can get to the root cause of your anxiety. Or maybe we don't get to the root cause. Maybe we just get to controlling the symptom. Anxiety is a symptom of something. So what if we just were able to control the symptom? What if we were able to just eliminate that ideology in your mind that anxiety is causing you harm? You know what? And when you come to me for anxiety specific, let's say we're just working on general anxiety, and I put you in my happy chair and we do a little hypnotic or whatever, I'm never going to mention anxiety in that, because we're going to work on positive reinforcements. Your mind already knows you're anxious, so why tell it to it? Why tell it more in a hypnotic state? Where I work with positivity. Unless it's actual nicotine, we're working on quitting smoking or cessation, I'm going to work 100% positivity. Smoking has a whole other program. I make it pretty disgusting for people. Anyway, so but root cause isn't always the reason I need to find. It doesn't matter. It's causes, it pops up, and a lot of times, sometimes I'll even know or feel like I know the cause. I'm not going to tell you. I may guide you to see if you can figure it out yourself. Because if you figure it out, bam, you get the aha moment. And it just subsides because your subconscious mind goes, oh yeah. But if I tell you, maybe I've got it figured out, it's not going to help your subconscious mind, because then there's going to be resistance. So avoid the resistance. So what we can do is teach your subconscious mind to replace that fear with calm, that anxiety or that doubt or that inner uncertainty with calm. And you can just you can just live in calm. So I live with my highest value, kindness. Everything else falls below kindness. Kindness is the number one. I might be scrappy, but I'm really a kind person. And I live in appreciation. Just my anxiety used to live in my gut, and now appreciation lives there. And if I'm not feeling that appreciation emotion, okay, where is it? I got to bring it back. I got to go find a moment in my life. Where is it? Look for it. Oh yeah, okay. And I just feel appreciated. Okay, that's what I feel. Now I get that experience again. And I live 98, 99% of the time in appreciation, kindness and appreciation. You can't go wrong, and you don't get the ulcers that way either. So let's say you're anxious right now. What can you do? I'm going to share some useful tools that I use, that I share with my clients, and you can start using them today. First of all, we're going to do this breathing exercise. And this was given to me by another hypnotherapist. I'm going to give him credit. His name's Ken Dubner. He's in Los Angeles. And this is what you do. You take your one hand straight out and your other hand, your little pointer finger, on the bottom of your thumb. And whenever your finger goes up, you breathe in through your nose. You breathe in through your nose so you can cool the brain, okay? Just cool everything down. And you exhale through the mouth. And you go slow. So you're going to breathe in. And then you're going to exhale as you go down. And then breathe in. And then exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then you go back the other way. That's like a really cool distracting tool that you can use to help you get into that mindset. Another way to help you with it, you can breathe, just breathe. Inhale on a count of 4, not 4 seconds, just a count of 4. So I'll use my fingers. And then I'm going to exhale on a count of 8. So and then you do that 2 or 3 times. If you feel your lips tingling even a little bit, stop. I don't want you to hyperventilate. And just do that a couple of times, and you start to feel yourself, because oxygen relaxes the muscles that are contracting when you're in anxiety. If you don't believe me, ask a woman in travail having a baby. They tell you to breathe, keep the breathing going. Or if you have a pain, like a cramp, keep the breathing going, get the oxygen. The minute you stop breathing, the oxygen can't get into those muscles and start loosening them up. Mental anchoring is another way. So pressing your thumb and middle finger together, holding them, and recall a moment you felt safe and calm. I do this in many different ways, but this is one. So before you touch them, think of the moment, the happy moments, calmness. Okay, and then you're going to touch them, hold the moment, hold it for like 10, 12 minutes, and then let it go. And then bring it back, okay, hold it 10, 12 minutes, because you're going to peak on that happiness. The second you start to peak at 12, 14 seconds, it starts to go down. That's when other crap starts to try to get in. So hold it, and then every time you touch it, you do that 5 or 6 or 7 times. And now it just becomes, it feels good when I do this. It just feels good because you've trained the physical with the mental and the emotional. They're all connected. So now you've trained it. And you can do it in many different ways, and I can teach that at another time. You can think of nice scenery. YouTube is full of things, tons of free stuff on meditation, beautiful pictures, etc. So it's a great place to get some wonderful resources. How do I calm down? Just put on some 888 hertz music. Put on some 532 hertz music, 428 hertz music. Just put on and just put your ears on and just listen. In the religion of Sikh, they use, I think it's Sikh, they use just So I had a meditation here a few years ago, and I had little speakers in different corners of my big office, and I just had in the background, real soft, and then I had the 888 meditation sounds coming through, the binaural beats or whatever, and I just had that, and then I just had some real soft, soothing words guiding people into this meditation, and it was so lovely. I was so going into like this wonderful trance state. It was kind of cool. Remember, the brain doesn't distinguish between real and imagined, so everything is the same to the subconscious mind. So this mental practice, it builds neural pathways, new neural pathways, and that's what you want to do, rehearsing it. When you're not anxious, rehearse it, rehearse it, rehearse it. So when or if you become anxious, it just, oh yeah, it feels pretty good. Yeah, this is cool. Yeah, I like this. This is good. Your subconscious mind starts to say stuff like, we've done this before. Yes, I like it. I like this one. For me, this was a subconscious suggestion my hypnotherapist years ago gave me. And even now, it gets me to just calm down. Just touching my fingers just triggers that calm effect. Okay, now just to give you some insight into what it's like to work with me, or maybe most hypnotherapists, I can't say any because I can't speak for all of them, but sessions are relaxing. They're not weird. They don't do weird, okay? You're not gonna run around my office and bark like a dog or cluck like a chicken. I'm not about entertainment. I'm not about a stage show. That's not what I do. I can do group stuff, but I don't do that. If you really want to stay in control, you're guided into a relaxed state where your inner mind just becomes receptive to new suggestions, ones that serve you. You'll take them or you won't take them. You like them or you don't. Stuff like, I am safe now. And you can say that in your own mind as you're going into a hypnotic state. I am safe now. I respond to life with calm and clarity. I live peace. Peace lives in me. It lives around me. Just always imagining a beautiful bubble around you of love and glory, protection, safety, and just self-honoring. And just allow it. You don't have to stop when you're relaxed. Just keep going. You're reprogramming the source of anxiety. I have had very little patience over my life, and I'm an outgoing person, a very outgoing, extroverted personality, and pretty much off the charts on the test, whatever you want to call it. But I've learned to become a little more chill, because I can definitely lead a lot more bees to honey than I can to salt. So just making the difference in myself, knowing that I can do a lot more if I stay calm. Now, inside sometimes I'm wanting to punch people in the throat just like anybody else. But if I stay calm, I get a lot more accomplished in that calm state. Symptoms are not going to be forever. We will find out what's going on. And then some people, remember, people can use anxiety as their drive to be successful. They have to be anxious for, deadlines. But they thrive on the deadline. They love the deadline because that gets them results. And I remember when I was doing my undergrad work and I had to write a 3,000 word paper, I wouldn't start reading the book until Saturday, and it's due Monday night at 11:59. So I'd read the book and then start writing the paper. Now I thrived, and I always got A's. I just had the gift of writing a paper. The 3,000 word paper was, that was nothing. I'd started around 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, and usually doing the word check around 10 o'clock at night. And that's, making dinner, breakfast, lunch, and dinner for my kids, picking them up from sporting practice, going back, etc. So it's absolutely learning to just live in calm. And that to me was calming back then. Now I've learned other ways to work on it, and we have new tools that I didn't have 15 years ago or whatever. And so here's what I want to leave you with. Anxiety doesn't mean you're broken. It means your brain has been running the same protective script over and over and over again for many years or many moments for a long time. With the right tools, the breath work, the anchoring, the subconscious mind rewiring, you can write a new script. You can feel grounded, centered, strong. If you're listening to this today thinking, that's me, I see you, I feel it. And very importantly, there are real, doable ways to shift this. If you want to learn how to work with me or just want to talk, just talk to me. Give me a call, 559-749-4803. The number in the banner is up there, centralvalleyhypnotherapy.com. You can also just put my name in ilahbrock.com. It'll go to my website as well. So I'd love to connect with you, but when you're in that state of anxiety, just take a breath. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And just be kind to your nervous system. And remember, we are safe. We are calm. We're okay. We know that we can be okay. We're always going to be okay. So affirmations work great. People they love those. What are affirmations? Just Google positive affirmations for anxiety. That's it. And just see what it says. And then repeat those things that work with you and for you. And before I close, I just want to say every Wednesday night here in Visalia, I have an in-person free self-improvement class. Tonight, I'll be talking about change work, transforming your journey. And what does that mean? It's a little interactive. I do require registration because I'm limited on seats. You can go to freeselfimprovementclasses.eventbrite.com. More information is there. freeselfimprovementclasses.eventbrite.com. Or just call me. Send me a text. I'll send you the link. And it's free. It's a lot of fun. And tonight's on change. Next week, Wednesday, I'll be doing one on nicotine cessation, smoking, vaping, chewing, just like a whole smoking clinic, if you will. So, and then next week's podcast here at Subconsciously Speaking, I'm going to talk about the law of attraction. How, what, where, what is this? What does it mean? It's only one of the 12 universal laws. So we're just not going to single out the one and ignore the others, because they all have to work together to create and manifest that which you desire. My name is Ilah Brock, hypnotherapist here in Central Valley Hypnotherapy. Thank you so much for joining today. Again, if you have any questions, drop them, give me a call, send me you could carrier pigeon question, I don't care. Get it in there, and I'd love to answer them. Stump the hypnotherapist. Go on, I dare you. Take care, everybody. Peace out.